What's going on, my Flappy family? It's your boy Izzy. Welcome if you're new. So we have this reporter that goes by the name of Sabrina that dropped the behind-the-scenes information about Caitlin Clark at this USA basketball training camp. And the way that she's talking, Caitlin Clark made this team, fam. She made this team the way that she's talking.
Final day at Team USA camp. Caitlin Clark cranked the pace up so fast the gym could not breathe. The passes were knives, the step-back threes were back, and every drill started orbiting her. And somehow, Angel Reese ended up on the outside looking in.
Hate to break it to you, Angel. Nobody was watching the videos anymore. And I was like, nah, that's not what I do, is make videos on people that, on players that people don't want to consume. But here we are. We're gonna do this because I think it's important. I think there was an opportunity, huge opportunity, missed right here by one Angel Reese. Simple. Could have squashed a lot of things, a lot of narratives.
So what did Sabrina see inside that gym? And why did one quiet exit stop everyone cold? Here is the final day. This story starts with one behind-the-scenes report. A reporter named Sabrina said she was inside the USA basketball training camp, and the way she described it, Caitlin did not just participate. She controlled the rhythm of everything, not with speeches, with the ball. Sabrina said the training was a mix of Team USA players going against each other, and also Team USA players going against a scout team. And that scout team was made up of players from smaller colleges in North Carolina who were brought in to help simulate competition. And in the middle of all that, Caitlin looked like Caitlin. Sabrina pointed out the step-back three was there, the passes were there, the pace was there. Even in drills, she was pulling defenders into impossible choices. Sabrina even noted that Caitlin was making these reads when she was not even paired with Aaliyah Boston.
So we'll start with Caitlin. Obviously, she suffered a lot of just a bevy of injuries in her sophomore season, played her last game on July 15th, even before All-Star Weekend. This was her first real 5-on-5 action since that injury with the fever, and it was a combination of like USA players going against USA players and then also USA players going against the scout team, which was just like players from small colleges all across North Carolina sort of helping out with that scout team practice. And, you know, she looked like Caitlin, right? Like the step back three was there, the passes were there.
That is important because it shows the skill is not just chemistry with one teammate, it is a habit. She sees the cut early, she throws the pass early, and she forces the receiver to be ready early. And that is why those passes can feel cruel in a camp setting. A normal pass lets you catch, gather, and decide. Caitlin's pass is a decision already made. Catch it and finish, or the defense closes and the moment is gone. Therefore, when someone brings the ball down, it is not a mistake in effort. It is proof the speed is different. Here's the first moment where the camp started to feel tense. Sabrina described how some players did not know what to do with Caitlin's passes. Not because they are not talented, but because the ball arrives earlier than your brain expects. There was one play where Caitlin zipped a pass into Derica Hamby, and Hamby brought the ball down instead of going straight up. In a normal offense, that is fine. But in Caitlin's offense, that split second can get you erased.
When she was not playing with Aaliyah Boston, some of the bigs didn't know what to do with her passes. Like there was one time where she passed it to Hamby and Hamby like brought the ball down. It's like, you can't do that. Like this is not, you have to keep it up, right?
Straight up, right.
Just like not expecting, you know, where that was coming. But FIBA, naturally, just a lot more physical than other levels of basketball, even more physical than the WNBA, which is, you know, something to be said considering all the conversations we had about that level of physicality during this 2025 season. So having to see Caitlin like go at scouting players who were, you know, instructed to play at a FIBA level of physicality was interesting considering how long she's been out and the fact that she's still ramping up injury-wise, but she looked good. She was just like so happy to be there.
Therefore, it was not just a highlight, it was a warning. Caitlin was operating at a speed that even pros had to adjust to. Now add the next layer. Sabrina also mentioned the scout team was instructed to play with more physicality. Real bumps, real grabs. The kind of contact that forces you to make decisions faster. But Caitlin stayed engaged. She kept pushing tempo. She kept attacking space. She kept throwing passes that forced everyone else to cut, catch, and finish on time. And once the speed limit changes, the room starts picking sides. Sabrina said Paige Buickers noticed it first. When Caitlin ran the offense, the pace shifted, the spacing tightened, the ball moved faster. Coaches leaned forward. Assistants started tracking who could keep up. But that same speed can also erase people. Sabrina said Angel Reese felt something different. Not anger at first, something worse, irrelevance. Angel was on the floor running the same drills and getting the same minutes, but the rhythm did not come back to her. The ball did not come back to her. The momentum flowed past her. And let's be fair to Angel. Her game is built on physicality, rebounding, effort, and pressure. She wins possessions the hard way. But a tempo-driven offense does not always reward the loudest contact. It rewards timing. It rewards reads. If you are half a second behind, it can feel like you are invisible, even when you are working. That is where Sabrina said the scrimmage changed everything. No cameras, no fans, just pride. And when it becomes pride, every missed rotation feels heavier. In that setting, Caitlin's impact grows because she does not just score. She makes everybody else's job easier. She turns cuts into layups and spacing into clean threes. Therefore, the room starts to feel a new hierarchy forming in real time. Sabrina's description made it sound like Angel was not benched or punished. She was simply erased by tempo. Possession by possession, the flow moved away from her. Not because she cannot play, but because the game was being played at a speed that rewards different strengths. But the final day is where it went from uncomfortable to shocking. Sabrina said the last day of camp was quiet. Too quiet. The drills were sharp. The execution was ruthless. And in that atmosphere, Caitlin looked like a veteran, calling actions, directing traffic, finishing plays. She did not need extra shots to feel important. She just needed the ball for 2 seconds to move the defense. Meanwhile, Sabrina said Angel barely touched the ball. Again, not by punishment, by reality. Therefore, when the final whistle blew, it felt like the decision was already made, even if nothing official was announced. And then came the part that made people freeze. According to this behind-the-scenes telling, Angel did not wait around for announcements. She did not wait for meetings. She stepped away, not storming, not shouting, just done. That is why it hit so hard, because in a gym full of top competitors, emotions usually show up as noise. This was the opposite, a quiet exit that felt louder than any argument. But the bigger point is not the exit. If Sabrina's report is even close to accurate, this camp showcased the future. Basketball built on pace, vision, and pressure that you cannot slow down without breaking your own offense. Therefore, this is the kind of moment the whole sports world reacts to. ESPN segments, debate shows, even Stephen A. Smith jumping on the idea that one player can change the temperature of a gym without saying a word. But Caitlin does not have to talk. She did not demand respect. She played in a way that forces people to adjust to her, not the other way around. And if that is what she looks like in a controlled camp, imagine what happens when the real games start. If you want more stories like this, subscribe and stay locked in. So now the only question left is this. If camp already felt like it chose Caitlin, what happens when Team USA has to make it official and live with the reaction? If you're still watching, drop final day in the comments.
What's going on, my Flappy family? It's your boy Izzy. Welcome if you're new. So we have this reporter that goes by the name of Sabrina that dropped the behind-the-scenes information about Caitlin Clark at this USA basketball training camp. And the way that she's talking, Caitlin Clark made this team, fam. She made this.
Literally. This is crazy. I'm under contract. I guess I plan on returning to the sky and continuing to talk to Tyler.
I quit. That's the phrase quietly spreading behind the scenes after Team USA camp wrapped up. Because once Caitlin Clark was named the starter, Angel Reese made a decision that shocked everyone inside the gym.
Are you here intentionally to start mess, or are you intentionally here to ask a question? And it's really tough for me.
Start mess? How are you gonna? You know you're the one that's saying these things on these microphones, right? You the one that said it's not because of her, it's because of me too. It's not because of one person, it's because of me too. You did that. You did that. You the one that keep trying to attach yourself. Like, let's be clear here. Angel Reese is the one that keeps trying to attach herself to Caitlin Clark at every turn. You are the one who went to Indiana, shot your shoe commercial and said, come to your trap, take over your trap, taking shots at Caitlin Clark. You try to attach yourself to this girl at every single turn, and you get mad that people see it.
This wasn't about one bad practice. This wasn't about trash talk. And this wasn't social media drama. This was about a role, and Angel Reese refusing to accept it. Team USA camp started the way it always does. Competitive, but controlled. Everyone fighting for minutes. Everyone told to put egos aside. But the entire direction of camp shifted the moment Caitlin Clark took control of the floor. From the first full-speed scrimmages, it was clear what the coaches were seeing. Clark wasn't just scoring. She was running everything. The pace changed when she had the ball. Spacing tightened. Decisions came earlier. The offense didn't need her to force anything. It naturally flowed through her. And coaches noticed immediately. Assistants leaned in. Whispers started. Rotations adjusted.
She was complaining to the referees. Like, that's one of those things where it's like, yeah, she's there complaining to refs, she's back. She's back. But let's take a listen.
Caitlin Clark back on the court, super impressed with Caitlin just being engaged while she was out and getting back to being able to play.
It was a combination of like USA players going against USA players and then also USA players going against the scout team, which was just like players from small colleges all across North Carolina sort of helping out with that scout team practice. And, you know, she looked like Caitlin. The step back three was there, the passes were there. When she was not playing with Aaliyah Boston, some of the bigs didn't know what to do with her passes. There was one time where she passed it to Hamby and Hamby like brought the ball down. It's like, you can't do that. This is not, you have to keep it up, right?
Straight up.
Just like not expecting where that was coming. But FIBA, naturally, just a lot more physical than other levels of basketball, even more physical than the WNBA. So having to see Caitlin like go at scouting players who were, you know, instructed to play at a FIBA level of physicality was interesting considering how long she's been out and the fact that she's still ramping up injury wise, but she looked good. She was just like so happy to be there.
By the middle of camp, it was no longer a question of if Caitlin Clark would start. It was when. That's where the tension began. Angel Reese came into camp expecting a major role. Not just minutes, not just impact, status. But as scrimmages stacked up, the contrast became uncomfortable. Clark was directing traffic, calling actions, setting tempo. Angel was active, physical, competing. But the offense didn't revolve around her. The ball moved past her. The game sped up around her. And then the decision came down. Caitlin Clark was named the starting point guard. The lineup was clear. The hierarchy was set. And Angel Reese was told she'd be coming off the bench. That moment changed everything. Sources say Reese didn't react immediately. No outburst. No scene. But the frustration was obvious. Her body language shifted. Her engagement dipped. The energy wasn't the same. Because for Angel Reese, this wasn't just a basketball adjustment. It was an identity check. Coming off the bench on Team USA isn't a punishment. It's still elite. But to someone who sees themselves as a centerpiece, it can feel like a demotion. And Reese didn't hide how she felt. Behind the scenes, dissatisfaction grew. Questions about her role turned into complaints. Complaints turned into distance. Meanwhile, Clark kept doing exactly what earned her the spot. She didn't celebrate. She didn't flex. She ran the offense. She elevated teammates. She controlled the floor. The contrast couldn't have been sharper.
Right. Stirring it up. I love that. I love that you could see the storylines continue from the W season into, this camp. And I want to particularly hit on two things that you wrote about. Just Caitlin Clark being back on the court. You also got a quote out of Sue Bird about her being impressed with Caitlin just being engaged.
Okay, so we've already gone and listened to that anyway. So it is one of those things where it's like, I think that's probably the most important thing that they said at the end is that Caitlin Clark just looked happy playing. And if you know the type of players that Caitlin Clark are, that type of players Caitlin Clark is, if we're being honest, she is a player that she plays off instinct. If the love of basketball is gone from Caitlin Clark, like, she's not going to be the same player. She's just not. She plays free. She takes risks. She's not as calculated as a lot of other players. She's not going to dissect you.
One player leaned into responsibility. The other resisted it. By the final day of camp, the atmosphere was tense. Practices were sharp, quiet, unforgiving. Clark dictated the pace again. Angel barely touched the ball. And then, before camp officially wrapped, Angel Reese stepped away, early. No press conference, no announcement, just gone. Inside the gym, everyone understood what it meant. This wasn't an injury. This wasn't rest. This was a refusal. A refusal to accept the role she'd been given. And that's why this moment matters. Because Team USA isn't built on star treatment. It's built on fit, on sacrifice, on accepting what the team needs, not what your reputation demands. Caitlin Clark earned her spot by making everyone else better. Angel Reese was asked to adjust, and instead, she walked away.
Oh, I don't know. Angel Reese, she might have tapped out, y'all. Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit. Everybody is speculating. What's going on? Hey, are you trying to pretend like you hurt because Caitlin Clark really is hurt? Wait, what's going on? What's going on, man? We gonna get to the bottom. We gonna figure it out.
Now fans are split. Some say Reese was disrespected. Others say she showed exactly why she wasn't named a starter. But one thing is clear. This wasn't about Caitlin Clark tearing anyone down. She didn't have to. Her game made the decision unavoidable. And when that decision came, it exposed who was willing to adapt and who wasn't. So here's the real question. Did Angel Reese quit on Team USA? Or did Team USA simply choose a direction that didn't include her ego? If you're still watching, drop "I quit" in the comments. Because this debate is only getting louder.
And Caitlin Clark destroys in day 2 of Team USA camp, looking like the best player in the world as usual.
Caitlin Clark just destroyed Team USA practice, and Angel Reese was right there for it. This was not a cute welcome back run. This was a statement, the kind that makes coaches stop talking and makes every newcomer realize the standard just changed. And it came after months of questions, not just about Team USA, about her body, about her health, about whether that rough stop-start season was going to follow her. Clark admitted being hurt can feel isolating and that the injuries kept stacking up. She said she felt nervous walking into camp, but the second she touched the ball in warm-ups, she felt comfortable again.
I mean, honestly, I feel like when I touched the basketball to start warming up before the practice even started, that's probably when I felt pretty comfortable. But I mean, I've worked so hard. Like, I haven't taken a break since, honestly, since the beginning of the WNBA season, with just all my rehab and getting back to where I wanted to be and then getting even better. So that's been kind of my focus. And, this has kind of been my next thing that I've been working for since our season ended, and just really thankful for, the training staff and player development and everybody that has kind of been there with me. They haven't taken a break either because they invest a lot of time and they want me to be successful. So I think for myself, like, it's not proving it to yourself again, but it's just that feeling. And I think it just made me smile quite a bit. Like, I really did kind of feel like myself out there and just continuing to get my lungs back. But I felt like I was moving really well. So it was pretty satisfying.
Then practice started and Team USA got the version of Caitlin Clark that plays fast on purpose, not rushed, fast. Coach Kara Lawson described it with one simple line. She said Clark looked good on both ends.
She's great,
Yeah.
Got a great personality, works hard in the practices, wants to be good, coachable, just all of the things you would expect from a good young player.
But that sentence does not capture what happened. Everyone was watching her first steps. They wanted to see if the burst was there. They wanted to see if the rust showed. And instead, she looked like she never left. One clip says everything. Clark comes off a dribble handoff from Aaliyah Boston and turns the corner like someone hit fast forward. She is downhill before the defense can even load up. Help comes, and she fires a perfect pass right to Jackie Young. That is what makes her dangerous. It is not just the logo threes, it is the tempo, the intent, the way she forces you to play her game at her pace, whether you want to or not. And Sue Bird was right there watching it. Bird is the managing director in this camp. Therefore, when she is visibly excited, that is information.
You know, you know she's a hard worker because of what she's been able to accomplish, but until you see that there's no wasted, movements, no wasted reps, no wasted anything, you just have such a level of respect for how she goes about her work every day. And understanding the spotlight that she's on, understanding the weight that she carries because of who she is. And I've said this before, like she's literally like Taylor Swift 2.0.
Reports out of camp said Bird could not hide it, while Clark pushed tempo, hit knockdown threes, and built chemistry with Boston that looked like a starting unit. That chemistry is the sneaky part. You could see it in the little stuff, the timing on cuts, the way Boston screens and slips because she trusts the pass will arrive on time. The way Clark rewards movement, other players start sprinting lanes because they know she will find them. Then, the practice footage hit the internet, and it got louder. There is a clip where Clark throws a behind-the-back pass, sees Nate Tibbetts coming to set a screen, splits it clean, and gets all the way to the rim. No hesitation. Then, the sequence that made everyone replay it. Kelsey Plum comes off the screen, kicks it out, and Clark drills the three. Next possession, Clark is up the floor, another three. Then, she comes off another screen, and it is another three. 3 quick decisions. 3 shots that say, I am not here to ease into anything. And it is not just scoring. This camp is built on roles, on trust, on who can run the team when the game gets tight. In the clips, you see Clark defending, moving well, and making the right pass before the defense even realizes it rotated. That is why the reaction was so intense. Because it was not loud, it was calm, it looked like command. And when one player looks like that, it changes what everyone else is fighting for. Which brings us to Angel Reese. Reese has real value. She rebounds, she brings physicality, she competes, she can help any team if she is used correctly. But this camp is a pressure cooker because the vibe is tempo and spacing. Quick decisions, guard play that bends the floor, bigs that screen, sprint, and finish. Therefore, when Clark is running the show, everything gets measured against whether it fits that style. The chatter from camp has been blunt. Reports said Clark outclassed the other newcomers, including Reese. They said the staff looked more impressed with Clark's team first impact than with individual flashes. That does not mean Reese is bad. It means the margin is smaller than people want to admit. There are only so many spots. There are only so many touches. And if you are a newcomer, you do not get the benefit of time. You get moments. One quote from the camp coverage hit hard. It said, Reese emphasized players were selected based on their ability to contribute to the team. That is true. But in the same breath, the conversation turned into fit. Can Reese's game thrive when the ball is flying and the pace is extreme? Can she stay on the floor if the lineup needs spacing? Can she dominate in a role that is not built around her? That is the tension. Because Caitlin Clark does not just score. She speeds up the whole roster. If you are late, you get left. If you do not cut hard, you do not get rewarded. But here is the twist most people are missing. This camp is not only about players, it is also about coaches. Sue Bird clarified that the court coaches are provisional, and that final assistant roles get confirmed closer to the World Cup. In other words, people on the bench are auditioning too. So the real question is not only is Caitlin back, it is who is building the system? Are they optimizing Clark's pace and vision, or trying to fit her into a preset plan? After what we just saw, the answer feels obvious. If Caitlin Clark is healthy, you let her run it. You let her push tempo. You let her make everyone better. So now, Team USA has a choice. They can embrace what is obvious and build around Clark's game. Or they can try to manage it and squeeze her into a box that never fit her in the first place. and the next scrimmage is going to expose which path they are taking. Watch the rotations. Watch who closes. Watch who gets the ball when the possession actually matters. Because if Caitlin Clark keeps playing like this, it is not just Angel Reese who will feel shocked. It is the entire hierarchy. If you are still watching, comment Team USA Tempo.